The Salem witch trials, the accused. Here I have 3 pictures, one of Giles Corey being pressed to death, one of Rebecca Nurse being taken to trial, and one of Bridget Bishop being hanged. Synopsis. I will be talking about a brief summary of the trials, and 3 of the accused I found to be treated very cruelly in trial and in punishment, or just in general accused unfairly. A brief summary of the witch trials. The Salem witch trials began in February of 1692 and lasted until May 1693, an entire year and 4 months, in which total more than 200 people were accused, some being as young as 5 years old. Both men and women had been accused, the latter more so. Out of 200 accused, 30 had been found guilty, 19 of which were hung according to English law, despite the popular and well-known belief of witches being burned at the stake. The victims of this hysteria were taken to the infamous Gallows Hills. One man that had been accused had been pressed to death, meaning heavy objects were placed on top of him until his body gave out, all because he refused to plead. At least 4 of the accused died in jail, possibly due to illness and starvation. Bridget Bishop. One of the first of the accused that was executed was Bridget Bishop, a woman who had been married 3 or 4 times. She was accused of bewitching 5 young women. Many men and women had accused her of appearing to them as a ghost, attacking them, and having puppets of many townspeople. Many believe the reason for her being accused was her unholiness and the fact of her multiple marriages, which makes sense since during those times marriage was very sacred. Giles Corey. Giles Corey was accused almost a month after his wife Martha Corey was accused. He had previously been on trial for being an indentured servant that ended in the death of the servant. Both Giles and Martha had been accused of witchcraft and being a wizard and witch respectively. He had refused to plead guilty or not guilty. The court then decided to press him and force him to confess. As mentioned earlier, he died 3 days into the torture and could never be charged. After his death, the sheriff, George Corwin, harassed Giles' daughter and her husband, threatening to seize her father's land. Rebecca Nurse. The saddest case of the Salem witch trials was that of Rebecca Nurse. She was 71 years old when she was accused, thus making her the oldest to be tried and hung. A warrant for her arrest came about after Edward and John Putnam accused her of killing 7 babies with her spirit, though they died of natural causes and diseases. She was originally found not guilty, then had been retried, resulting in her death due to her poor hearing. Many townspeople came to her defense, believing her to be a pure woman. Years later, it was revealed by Ann Putnam Jr. that the accusations were a lie. Begging for forgiveness from Rebecca Nurse's family, they accepted the apology and the families reconciled. The ending synopsis, which I guess this would be called. Many of the accused had been accused just for the gain of their accuser, being that if said accused was found guilty, the accuser had the ability to gain their land. Bridget Bishop had been accused because of her impurity. Giles Corey had been accused for his land and monetary gain. Rebecca Nurse had been accused of the sad and untimely deaths of babes that had passed due to diseases.